We want to bring in Jack Smith, ask him all kinds of questions, and not the least of which is this whole idea that he was going after what appears to be almost half the stinking Republicans in Congress getting their phone logs, and a bunch of other Americans.
And that's the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, with me on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business Thursday on his subpoena for former special counsel Jack Smith to testify behind closed doors about his investigation into President Trump and Trump's supporters. Among those who were caught up in the wide net cast by Smith was my next guest, former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Smith allegedly sought the personal cell phone records of McCarthy from AT&T, which they ultimately said they did not turn over, but they actually did. Meanwhile, a top federal court official is defending Judge James Boasberg's decision to issue gag orders that hid subpoenas in connection with the FBI's Arctic Frost probe. The official, Robert Conrad Jr., said in a letter to Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley that Washington's chief federal judge was likely unaware that the subpoenas were directed at members of Congress. Joining me now with more on all of this is the man himself, the 55th Speaker of the House, former California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. Speaker, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to see you, Maria.
And it was just a little while, was it a couple of weeks after you became the Speaker of the House, the highest Republican in the nation, okay, the Speaker of the House, was it just a few days later or weeks later after you were sworn in that you were actually tracked by Democrats?
Yeah, we're just learning. The weaponization went beyond just trying to go after President Trump. It went after all Republicans. And remember, when they went after my phone number, my phone log, they didn't tell AT&T it was my phone. They didn't tell me. They didn't tell anybody else. And they just went to try to find all. They went much further and longer duration than they asked for the senators' phones as well. Now we're finding out they also went after Jim Jordan's phone. They would go after any political enemy they thought was out there. It's the true weaponization of government. And we're just now getting this information. And when we first found out about it, thanks to Senator Grassley and Senator Johnson and what Jim Jordan has been working on, AT&T said, no, they didn't provide my phone number, but they did give the phone logs we find out now. But the first question is, what crime did all these Republicans actually propose to have committed? Just being a Republican? Being the leader in the House? The Speaker of the House? That's what they wanted to go after my phone log for?
That's unbelievable. And I know that at some point AT&T said, no, we didn't do what Verizon did. We pushed back and said, look, we're not going to get involved in this. But you're saying, in fact, they did send over the phone records of your number, even though they didn't know it was your number.
At the very beginning, they said they did not do that because they thought they caught themselves. Because normally if someone went after someone's phone log, they'd have to show proof. There'd have to be some reason why you broke some crime. They wanted to investigate you. And they'd say your name. Jack Smith on purpose would not say my name, just give my phone number out. And as we're watching from the judge, there was no indication why to go after me. Simply that I was the leader of the Republican Party. I had become Speaker, the highest elected at the time for Republicans, and they wanted to go after my phone log.
Unbelievable.
Why? They wanted to look at every constituent that called me, every leader that I talked to, every other Republican or Democrat I talked to, or any foreign leader I talked to. They thought they had a right to try to track us and understand whatever we were doing. First, let's find out why Jack would do that. The weaponization of taking this government and going after business to go and spy on Americans.
Yeah. Kevin, real quick, do you believe this is the right forum for Jack Smith? I mean, how is he going to explain himself? Is it right that he should be behind private doors, or do you I know in a public hearing, each lawmaker only has 5 minutes, so it's limited.
Well, I want to get to the information. So if it's behind closed doors, I trust in Jim Jordan. Let's get all that information, but let's not this be the only hearing. Let's bring a number of hearings out, but we've got to get all the information because we know now that the Biden administration tried to hide everything.
Congressman, I want to get your take on accountability and affordability. I mean, first of all, we can never get any accountability out of this Congress. We're still waiting on someone to take the fall for Russia collusion. And then you've got this trip that President Trump is taking. Is that the right move? How is it possible that the Democrats now own this issue of affordability?
Yeah. First, the accountability. The Congress has to follow through. Jack Smith has to be held accountable of what he went after. He was not confirmed. He was unelectable, and it just weaponized the system. Look, at the end of the day, as we gather more information, I bet he didn't just go after Republican leaders in the House. I bet he went after a lot of other Americans, people in the media. I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to go after your phone, Maria, because you would speak the truth from the very beginning about the Russia collusion. Now, when it comes to affordability, remember, the big, beautiful bill does not actually go in effect till January. Everything the president has been doing, the bringing the gas prices down and the others. Remember how bad he inherited this country, the amount of inflation and ever. That doesn't happen overnight, but he's done a tremendous job. Now the House and the Senate need to keep up because he's doing most of this on his own by executive order. But we need to see is here's the president going out to Pennsylvania, leading in the messaging.
Okay.
The House and Senate should be doing this. And what they need to do is, where is their economic plan to go forward? Because remember, the reconciliation bill, you couldn't write everything you wanted. So I want to see a health plan.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.